into the appropriate brackets. That's how we decide.
So we
not above. So I believe you must make it consistent, harmonize it with the others. 35%.
It's 35, right?
Yes.
ECOWAS is 35.
35. Let's go for the upper.
No, they say it's 20 now.
Mr. Chairman.
If I see them, I need to
Honorable members, so the proposal is to move from 20 to 30. All in favor of the proposal say aye. Vote against say nay. The ayes have it.
But the ayes have it. Page 3. Yes. Page 3. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chairman, I want to express my gratitude for the Minister for this document. But at the same time, let us bear in mind that he said we want to increase the prices of the tobacco gradually from this year, next year, and so forth. We have to face the fact that the number of children are dropping in our school by asthmatic attack, and our public places are not protected. So the only way we can have deterrent to these addicted smokers is when we increase the price and increase more revenue. Otherwise, we are creating more areas. I have got a report from even university students in the examination hall, the number of students that they have dropped during exam period. Last week Thursday, we experienced that a child was up at this gallery and dropped because of an attack. So this can only happen with our environment congested. So therefore, Mr. Chairman, I suggest that these prices on the tariff 98 million per kilogram, we are very small. I want to suggest that we increase that price. So that because these people who are notorious in this, yes, Mr. Chairman, these people who are notorious of this particular habits, they can afford it. So if you can increase the amount of money, and you also said that you are doing this in order to make sure that those who are bringing this product will not go underground. That will just increase the job rate of them who are monitoring our borders, so that we make sure that they can pay the requisite tariff for them. So this amount money stated on page 3 on manufactured tobacco, I believe we should increase this amount. So what's your proposal? My proposal is should be like 120 million per kilogram.
Now the new one against
Instead of 98
per kilogram for manufactured tobacco, is proposing 120 mils. Out of cigars, chariots, cigarillos containing tobacco.
So be like 50 mil. That one should be 50 mil.
His proposal is 50 mils. It is his proposal.
And then the cigarettes containing tobacco, instead of 3 mil per pack, let it be 10 mils per pack.
I'll tell you this why. The other will do something else. I want to support you, but tell you this why.
Let's go to radios is like pizzas. I mean, let's think about 5 mil.
5 mils. The proposal is 5 mils.
Mr. Chairman.
Sorry, let me take the chairman for the finance committee.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know. I raised the issue of when from the committee I use their own terms in terms of action in this life.
use that term because it was used yesterday and we know the meaning in the Latin word. They say they are going for minimum. So I asked Mr. Minister, we should be saying consistent with what we have said before. So you talk about two important and the impact if we say we are going to impose higher taxes. We all know the casualty, the tobacco is causing. Not that we are trying to fight it. We are saying it's a gradual process from this percent to this percent. So that's why you did explain. And I note the contribution from my honorable colleague on the other side, on this side behind me, talking about the impact of the negative impact on our children and the school. We are still asking you if you want an increment based on what he has proposed, and based on what I asked. Can we increase or with gradually? Where do we start? Because you are saying you have to have a minimum, and he said because of the issues coming up. I said it's a killer product for me. That's why the discussion right now. Yeah, it's a killer product. So it's even written on it, it's dangerous for your health. But we can also discourage those who have the taste, who have the appetite or desire to take it. Shisha and other things. So you told us the last time that in fact, I don't know the reason of that the shisha is more harmful than the tobacco. So he asked for more tax to be imposed. So can we look at, can we do something? If you have to stick a bill, you have to move or come back.
Let me advise. Mr. Chairman, the proposed increases are they are not small. They are not small. We are moving from 2 to 3, that's 33% increase. That's what it is. It's not small. It's really very high. The percentage terms is high. We are not using ad valorem here. We are using specific tax because we want to be able to effectively count and discourage the tendencies of under-declaration and the like. So we are sure of the revenue to get by the volumes that are imported into the country. So that's really what we're doing. If you say it is by the value of what you import, they can under-declare, and then you lose your money if you are using ad valorem. So that's because ad valorem is a percentage of the value declared. But this one, I will know the number of sticks that you bring into the country, and now for every cigarette that is imported into Sierra Leone, we are using stamp duties on them. So those stamp duties counts each and every stick. So when it is stamped, when it comes, we know right from the port of entry, the total number of sticks that do come into the country, you apply the Leone value per that carton or per that packet, and their numbers are calculated, then you know the number. That's why we are actually applying it this way. But for each of these other proposals, we have a plan for up to 2027, 28, 27 on the increases that we must do on tobacco. But we should understand the application of this law as well. We want to make sure that there is compliance in the collection of the tax. So you don't overtax in the way that this market goes under, or the one or two people who are bringing the goods in don't have the capacity to pay the tax. So the tax has to be effective as well, both in administration and it can bite. So that's why I believe the proposal we have made is a proposal consistent with the medium-term strategy, and we are gradually getting there to that. So our proposal, I know the health impact is very powerful in the way it has been laid, because we know the effects on persons here, including the other terrible drugs that the kids are taking that destroying them. So, but we are very gradual in the way we are applying the taxes just for reasonability. Health is fundamentally underneath this one, and I think we are catching up with it. So our advice, the proposal that we are making as a ministry, really stay as it is. We allow NRA to implement, and then we come next year and assess for additional increases.
Okay, we'll take the comfort. Honorable member.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm satisfied with the explanation of the minister. I just wanted to do my presentation. I promised some university students and some students in some schools that have complained to me about this, and I promise to do something, and I don't believe.
And I'm sure you'll be satisfied.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to have made mention on this imported egg, but unfortunately I did not catch your eye, and my colleague here went to put 3. Out of experience,
Taking us back.
please, Mr. Speaker, it's important. You have not gone far.
Okay.
I stood up, but I did not catch your eye. I'm
So
sorry.
you are alive, so
The minister has done perfectly well, imposing 35% on imported eggs. But that is not going to solve the problem. I must tell you that's the naked truth. The competition is even going to be heavier than before. What is happening now? The local poultry farmers are not equipped to supply the market. I must tell you, they are not equipped to supply the market. So what I'm suggesting, there are other poultry-related imported materials. I want us to give them 0 tariff. Once that happens, the local poultry farmers will be equipped to maintain their poultry to supply the market. Otherwise, at the end of the day, they will still impose 35% on imported eggs, and the cost will be high because the local farmers will not be able to supply the market. We will still live on the imported eggs, which is very high cost. Unlike if the local farmers are encouraged, I told you yesterday, even to have access to loans is a whole lot of problems. And if you want to support the livestock farming, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, will have to do something about it. Otherwise, we will impose all this big tariff on the imported eggs, we will get the money, but at the end of it all, it will not yield dividend because we will be suffering. The local farmers will not be equipped. Mr. Speaker, at the peak of my farm, I used to collect 14 cartons per day. The 14 cartons is not even enough for both. It's not enough for both. People stand there waiting when the boys they buy and take it home.
How many
So that means, and I'm the biggest farmer in Bode District. Poultry farmer in Bode District. That tells you, even if we have that my size farm, we have 4 or 5 in Bode, it will not be still able to supply Bode. That is the naked truth I'm telling you. So, what I am suggesting, the positions, the 35%.
Have you included your poultry in your asset declaration?
For sure, Mr. Speaker, you know I'm very low.
It's waiting for next year.
You know that very well. So, Mr. Chairman. I'm announcing Mr.
It's
Chairman.
just from Mecca.
Mr. Chairman, this is serious.
Zero.
This is serious, Mr. Chairman.
Are you suggesting a reduction?
I'm not suggesting a reduction. There are other poultry-related materials like drugs, concentrate. Now the cost of concentrate has even increased. We used to buy it 1,350 euros. It's now 1,400 euros.
That is because of demand.
The demand, and they are paying duties for it.
That is a demand and supply issue. So if you add tax on it, the price will increase.
Tax are attached. So we want them to be tax-free, poultry-related imported materials. I am suggesting.
No, they are tax-free. I remember we passed one finance bill here.
The minister will respond on that. They are tax-free. What I'm saying is because 2 weeks ago I went to buy concentrate from somebody else, and he said it's 1,400. I said no, it's too much. Why have you done it? Hey, with the SO2, will they pay this? Will they pay this our Taki? Will they pay this our Taki? So that is why we are before the house. And I told him that I'm going to make it known to the public, so we know if it is free. Then we'll tell them that no, this is duty free. No, Mr.
Mr. Minister.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, yesterday I started the presentation.
Honorable members, your undertones are
Yes.
way above undertones.
In Amocha, we are trying to protect our own goods, our own production. We're also looking at the market, production versus consumption. Mr. Chairman, I said something very worrisome. He said, even is the biggest farmer in terms of production, they cannot even satisfy the market to go. And we are imposing tax on imported eggs. the imported eggs, whom the local egg production, only put in the satisfied market. If you take that one, put more cost on them, thinking about we said, we want to look at this issue of poor or how we are sensitive to poverty-related issues, that we cannot do things that can impoverish those who cannot really provide. And we know the essential validity of egg, protein, etc. essential. I want us to think
Some of us have not eaten them for a long time. Some of us have not eaten them for a long time.
I want us to speak, make a plea on it, and do a background consultation on it. Whether we have to be in position, I asked for the potato, for the tomatoes. He said it's okay because we are exporting this. I don't have problem, we have it. For this one, the egg, we are sometimes complete information. So, Mr. Chairman, together with the minister, we are not against imposing. We have given you the laxity to block the tax increment. We also need to be punished with data to make sure that if we impose tax, try to limit the importation of these goods, cannot affect the consumption of our people. It cannot also force them to go and buy egg instead of 5, 10, 50 million per dozen. We now force to buy 100 days per dozen. We should be careful to have a progressive policy that will have a positive impact on our people, not to the reverse. I'm not against it. I have asked for data. When we are talking about it, Honorable Yoruba raised the issue of production. We have not got that data. The only one I got quietly is for potato. And tomato ketchup, we also talked about it. They said, oh yes, we need to improve. So we can also be able to vitalize our market. For egg production, I know he has served the eggs over 3 or 4 dozen on 2 occasions.
Give me one
So he gave you 1 dozen. So if he's talking about this, it's worrisome. So I want us to look at it critically and see what we can do. That is just my solution for the house.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Just yesterday, we were here and we also passed an agreement empowering the poultry farmers, livestock farmers. And if you look at part of the agriculture in this country, we've invested into agriculture on the poultry farmers, huge investment. What are we saying now as a nation? We're saying because we keep investing in this sector, we must also protect them and let them see the viability and the market opportunity. We must not have everything ready made before we make the laws. We are making the laws to protect them, so other people who are importing eggs will see the need to invest here. So it's not like we are saying, okay, the eggs are already in the shelves to be supplied. No, that's not what we're saying. We are making incentive that if you bring them in, you pay more tax. If you produce locally, you have no tax. So you choose. It's a situation of choosing. And for some of us who are here yesterday, we know there is a grant now that government has brought in for empowerment of local farmers. You now have the opportunity that I know if I produce, the market is already there. Because one thing Honorable Kekwan has not said to us is they also constrain to store the ones we are producing in. So preserve them is a challenge. So we must have a ready-made market where they produce and they sell because we don't have methods of preserving those eggs. Storage facility is a problem. Let's don't, Mr. Leader, I understand with you that we because of the supply chain market and everything, but let's create the opportunity so people will see the viability in that industry and invest. That's my take.
Mr. Chairman.
I have a conflict with
Mr. Chairman.
No, I will.
The chairman, sir, based on the policy drive that is stated, we know our Korea has an interest. It's a proper policy drive. He said, yesterday we passed and give it a try. We can give it a try. And I think what we need to do, like you have said, rolling out, giving incentive, and even the grants studies is good to also care for. I know very well that they have given, even taking over from poultry farm, they are giving a lot of resources. So let us assume that it's a positive policy. So let's give it a try. Yeah.
The other thing is construed me.
No, it's okay.
We don't need reaction. It's okay.
Mr. 4,
And you did not list all of them.
Chairman, still on
page 5.
Still on page 3, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Still on page 3.
On a different point,
Mr. Chairman, no, Mr. Chairman, can I lend my voice on this point before the leader take us to a different point? Please, Mr. Leader. Can I give you the floor after the leader? I can wait. Besides, you should know, you should not even contest it. The principle of seniority always. The minute you see him stand up, you know you should not stand up. You should apologize.
And he's always guilty of that.
No, you should apologize.
Even on his own side.
Yeah, you should apologize.
And then he's.
Are you ready to apologize? Very yes, sir. Right, sir.
You have father's blessing. Mr. Speaker, I thank the leader of government business for accepting the proposal of honorable member from Bo. It is a general concern, not just because of his own interest. You know, this is my combined economics. You know, when you talk about cost of production determines price to a very large extent. And feed concentrate is very important in production of poultry products. So if that one becomes zero tax, it will be good for this country. But my own point is on a different note. But this time, his proposal is like saying, Mr. Minister, give up that tax. Okay? My own point now is on a different note, but it's encouraging you to take tax. Take tax instead of you choose taking no tax. And that is on items 8, 9, and 10. Items 8, 9, and 10. Maybe 10 will be, I will have a second thought on 10. But for 8 and 9, that is cooking stove and accessories, and solar panels above 300 watts. Below. Below 300. Below 300. Yes, I know. So for cooking stoves and solar, Mr. Chairman, I submit that users of those items are at least above average energy. And besides, the nature of the assistance tax free, it has nothing to do with pricing. So they're still very expensive. And all of cooking stove, and the way we are going now, it is good we start harnessing this profit now, because in the next 10 years, the world is going solar. Renewable energy.
So do you want us to stay zero, or do you want
No, we need to tax it. We need to tax it. But I have two scenarios. On this taxation. Best case scenario, we tax it commencing 2026. Worst case scenario, we tax it and then we divide it to 2027. Those are my two scenarios. But in any case, let us tax it.
So what is the current tariff, Minister? What is the current tariff?
It's zero.
No, the current one. They are proposing zero. What is the current one? What is the current tariff on this? On HS code 8541.4200.
Before I answer that, let me appeal to let the proposal stay as is with zero. The revenue we are losing here is just about projected 3 million, which in my view, yes, for the importance of the concession and reaching out. I know in Cambia, for example, there's a project that we have where we are lighting nearly each and every household. And that volume and the impact is huge, and we are trying to do that across the country. And then there's the whole aspect of the stove, the cooking stove, where we are trying to have those stoves manufactured in Sierra Leone, but with opportunities for us to have carbon credits on top of that particular manufacturing. As long as people are using it and we are collecting the data to show that we are reducing emissions. So this is it's a very smart tax decision in my view. But you are profiling other things in the same tax that's going to bring more money. So you're profiling plywood, you're profiling poles, nails. So they cover up for that in my view. So that's the way we should look at it. And I think it will be very, it is very impactful. Let me talk to poultry. Honorable Leader of the House, you asked for data. I've asked my colleague, the Minister of Agriculture, to profile data. We are consuming, the demand in the country for eggs is 200 million eggs for this country per year. Current production in the country is 80 million by those who are operating in the market. So we have a gap for about close to 120 or thereabouts million. There are 4 big players. The honorable there is one. Yes. There are 4 big players in the country. Right? So those 4 big players, once they go into scale of production, they can push 150 million into the market to meet demand. Now, this money we are asking for, this tax that we are asking for, it's based on egg. It's basically to mobilize the revenue to support them. This is really the impact. On top of the existing agreements that have been passed. Yes, that have been passed by this House yesterday. So, yes, so this is very targeted. We're not going to be spreading too thin. We are going for the jugular and make sure that we can meet national demand, right? So that's really the whole thing that we are asking, that give us the power to go and collect and implement those projects. What he has asked for, to be able to make it available for you. So that's the case here. It's a balance. It's a very balanced tax as well. Smart one. Yeah, it's a very balanced tax. You need to raise the money to provide you to have access to those inputs to provide for the market. So that's my case, Mr. Chairman.
So Leader, if we are to make an investment plan, I would advise you to prepare now and invest on, not poultry, on these zero items. We buy solar, we supply the market. So by the time there is tariff on it, we would have made our money and go for it. I'm just advising you because the Honorable Ekeke is a good investor in solar.
That is why, because of conflict of interest, that is why I did not like
Mr. Chairman,
You know, this minister can wait. You know, he drove the policy that went into the minister of our brain.
so he's silent.
You know, he has everything effectively. He was unable to talk. He was just basically him. You know, it's a very good one. I think we this is a proposal, it's anticipation that we have for our farmers. We are giving them the same thing. But I made a plea to him that we have allowed him to increase taxes. Next year we have to call the same thing. So it's not far from what he said. He cannot collect all the monies that we are talking about now. And the issue that he can get him into scale of readiness and taking into consideration our colleagues. So it's back. He was fried so quick. So we are saying you do some scale of preference to consider them. Going to the 0% on solar, you know, that's our experience from giving zero taxation. But you know, this business, we have to also see that we are giving. They are not lash everything on implement taxes. They are giving some different.
No matter what they are doing, you cannot be saved. That's why I was
Very first one on the memorandum and objects, and totally we accepted. It's need to raise revenue. But sometimes when you give, it takes some. We need to show to the people that we are very reasonable. To say we are going to impose when exactly that we are about utilization of the in our own cooking activities or whatever domestic usage. We should give them no matter people are going to definitely escape. Make
make some profit. But I understand what my colleague is pushing. You are not got a very good example of how to do that. We miss that one and right completely. Because there are other factors like this is something that is coming to work. And people are trading, and we are using so much solar. So what we just need to act like Mr. Minister, for us to see there's some impact on our people. So for me, leader, let's give it to Minister. You are giving let us give this one so that we can move on.
Thank you, leader. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Yes, it's me, Mr. Chairman. Okay, so Mr. Chairman, I still want the minister to clarify two things with respect to the taxes. He said, according to him just now, what I have said, if I understood him very well, he wants to raise that money to support those in that area, engaged in that field. The question is, what if it discourages those that are importing eggs into the country? We do not have the taxes we are aiming at to support those engaged in the production of eggs. That is one. Where will we get money to support them? Secondly, what if those engaged in the production of egg cannot supply our market? Will it not have a ripple effect on the prices? Because what we are thinking about now is how we can get the money, which is very important for any government. But do we think of those that are importing eggs, if they stop bringing eggs, what will be the effect? You are not eating eggs, I know. But you've not given any of us the eggs that only Kekura brought to your office. I am one of your closest allies.
You don't forget Ibrahim, the father of many nations. I know, Mr. Speaker. But we must pay attention to these two critical things. These 2 points are very important.
If they stop bringing eggs, we will not talk about taxing them. They will.
No, Mr. Chairman, they will not stop.
They will stop. Honorable member, I'm on my floor. I will stop it. My legs. I allow you. You did your presentation. You are a producer. I know you need that money. You need to be supported. But I am thinking about those that are bringing eggs. We are putting them out of business because if they cannot generate the income they need, they will not bring it. They will leave it to you. And if they leave it to you, that money will not be available for you. If that money is not available, where will they get money to support you?
Okay, honorable member, let me address this. Hold on. Let me address this. And we are going to move to page 4. Let me address this and we are going to move to page 4. Firstly, the minister has laid bare what is the total consumption and what is the production level in country. That is one. 2, the anticipation is with the increase in tax, it does not only provide financial incentives that would be given to the big players and encourage smaller players to come into the market, but it would also create an enabling environment because already in 2019, the financial of 2019, the Ministry of Finance proposed and this House passed that people approaching banks for agricultural loans concerning piggery and poultry is 0. So your GST or whatever you're paying is 0. So the ministry has given sufficient incentive to A, collect money and support them, B, to open the floodgates for them with commercial banks so that they can expand. Because if Kekua expands, it would increase my supply from 1 dozen to maybe 3. So I think we close that. We'll close this discussion here.
Mr. Chairman,
and we'll move to page 4.
Mr. Chairman, let me help you a little bit, please.
Mr. Chairman,
the only correction I want to make here. Mr. Chairman, I don't want any information.
Hold on, Alaji. I did not give you the floor.
Alaji, I have the floor. Mr. Chairman,
not give me the floor.
Mr. Chairman, I think what is missing there is the classification of eggs. We have necessity goods we have essential goods, we have luxury goods. So let us see, when you have those classifications right, then you will know the impact of tax on those commodities in terms of demand and supply.
Yes.
In the case of eggs, I think the eggs are not necessary goods for this country. So if you impose, yeah, it's not. Yeah. How many of us are eating eggs on a daily basis? Or buying eggs to our kids. So imposing tax, there are little or no impact on the well-being of our people. So we can maintain the already stated tax, Mr. Chairman.
You know, I should be advised by my clerk, and the advice he has given me is that I should move at electric speed.
It's time. The clerk's there, you can go to your office. We are used to this. But on a more serious note, Mr. Chairman, let us move on and leave the tax as it is. The other impacts are insignificant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Budget. So page 4. No, we're on page 4.
This one,
Page 5.
Page 5, Mr. Chairman. Page 5. Clause 4, the second line.
Minister, you're not ill. Nobody has mentioned anything about it. No, go ahead. Page 5.
Page 5, clause 4, the second line to delete one of the days after royalty. After royalty leave.
Okay, even on page 2, sorry. There is a correction here. 2, section 2. The schedule to the Custom Tariff Act 1978 is amended by repealing and replacing part 2 with D of the following. So you have to do a correction there.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, so page 5 you say correction of
clause 4, the second line. Replacing the definition of royalty with D. 1D should be deleted.
Okay, 1 deleted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Page 6. I told you we are moving at lightning speed. Page 7. Page 8.
Page 8, Mr. Chairman. 11.
Minister, hold on, that's outside also to get everybody out.
Mr. Chairman, clause 11, it should be paragraph L instead of paragraph I.
11.
Yes, subsection 3 by repealing paragraph. Yes.
It's not I.
Yes, it's page 8.
And it's page 8. Page 9.
Page 8.
Page 8, I have another.
Page 8, paragraph E, the last paragraph at the bottom.
Paragraph E. E of clause 12.
Line 2. The word not is repeated there.
Not should be deleted.
So you delete 1.
Yes.
You retain 1 and delete 1.
That was what we were looking for money, not, but we could not get it. It was 1 nil.
That not
We are looking for not, but we could not find it.
Manchester United.
It's United, we are looking for not, but we could not find it. The whole it was here. Page 9. Page 10.
Page 10, Mr. Chairman. 16.
16 was my area of interest last year.
Okay, 16,618. I'm just taking it to the stones.
But this year I don't have interest here.
Just a few correction with the figures. 618 on the 16. Stones other than dimension, stones and marble. The 1750 changes to 1050. The 17 changes to 10.
Is it 10? Minister, is it 10?
Should be 10.
It's
Yes.
10?
Yes.
And after we have passed this particular clause, I will demand compensation from the minister. And the leader is going to be my. No, it's going to be my man. Mr. Minister, I think I've presented to the House that after this particular amendment, I I'm demanding a compensation for me.
Yes.
So 7 change to
yes. Let me take you through the rest, Mr. Chairman. Then the $350 changes to 200.
So 350 changes to 200.
200.
Okay.
Then we go to B.
17.5, 7 changes to 0, so it's 10.5. And on the line immediately after, 350 changes to 200.
200. Now B, the $35 becomes 17.5 or 1750.
17.5 replaces 35.
17.50, yes.
How about 700?
Yes, and 700 becomes 350.
700 becomes half. 350. Are we in agreement? This is loss of revenue.
Because it was an error as I was reliably informed, but then the minister can.
That is a huge error. That is not a typo. Typo cannot change 7 to 3. But I'm demanding compensation, so.
No, thank you. Yeah, the corrections are in place, Mr. Chairman. There was an error on the original proposition. So the Honorable is correct. Thank you.
Okay. And on 2, I would want to make clarification before it gets to the public. On 2, clause 2, it says this section shall be deemed to have come into effect on the 9th day of May 2025. It is retroactive, and it is retroactive because already there was a pronouncement pursuant to section 40, subsection 4. When this law was passed, that is why I'm demanding compensation from the minister. When he introduced it, I told him that this figure will not help us. I will not get a single export from the initial figure that was proposed. So he has come back to the figures I proposed last year. So because of consideration, the president honored his powers to also enter into treaties and propose amendments. He proposed that there should be some amendments for revenues to be generated instead of revenue stalling. So that is why Parliament is asked to invoke section 106 subsection 5 to give it a retroactive power pursuant to section 44. I hope we're in agreement.
Mr. Chairman, on this particular issue, I don't know how it will be applicable for taxpayers. But in the first place, failing to pay in the first place attracts penalties in the first place. And this one is almost 5 months backwards. So, in the first place, it applies to those who have not complied so far, up to now.
No, it applies to those who have complied already, but they are not protected by the law passed at the time.
So, meaning they will be refunded?
If there is
excess,
yes. For the excess, they will be given tax rebates.
So, for this retroactive effect, the real effect is refunds. Or rebates. Okay, fine. That's fair enough. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, on the same dimensions too. I think I have one of the factories in my constituency that is not only processing dimensions too, but has gone beyond just the shaping of the dimensions too, to even producing tiles. And to some extent, they are even producing furniture from the marbles themselves. So I want to know which category of tax will it fall, because for most of the times, I think they are processing them for the external market.
So under which category of service should we tailor them? For the tiles we are processing for international market and the furniture from stones that they are processing.
Minister, is it import duties? Is it export? Is it royalty or is it export? Or it's royalty on export? Minister?
Yeah. For these are for raw dimension stones where no value is added. That one is attracting value addition and the like. Full tiles, and we'll have to come with a completely different law to regulate and tax that particular activity. I'm not sure of any company manufacturing tiles in Sierra Leone.
There is one in 91.
There is one in
very good marble tiles.
Yes.
And also furniture from marble stones.
They are very good marble.
Yes. Those are high value. Those are high value. They are high value tiles.
I even sent the video to you.
Are there not laws for you to ensure register with NRA before you start those activities?
No, they are registered with EPA. They've gone through all of the process, but they were extracting it at the raw stage, and they thought of giving it value. So they've added value to it. I've seen it.
We'll look into it and advise. It's not. I need to be advised appropriately and come back to the house. So yes.
Okay. On that understanding, we move to page 11. Page 11, page 12.
Page 12.
I have a problem on page 12 myself. Let me listen.
Page 12 plus 24. Plus 24. The amendment provision order plus 24. The side don't say power to appoint representative. I just want to ask Mr. Minister, if this power to appoint representative by suppliers of digital service whose presence is not in Sierra Leone. They are staying outside, but they are providing digital service in Sierra Leone there. That power to appoint a representative, is it mandatory or optional? Because, in my opinion, by appointing a representative, serve as a liaison between NRA and that representative in terms of tax negotiation and tax compliance and even follow-ups. It's to make it easy for NRA to know whom to contact in terms of tax compliance. So I don't know if that representative is mandatory or obligatory. I mean, optional. Because you use mail.
So the problem is, there will be if the operator of that particular digital product actually knows that the digital product is being brought to Sierra Leone. Because, for example, most of us here, some of us will pretend, but I know it is true. I don't know whether my leader is part of my team, but most of us here are using DSTV from Nigeria. And I'm not sure the dealer, the license dealer in Nigeria knows that they are moving DSTV compartments or whatever gadgets to Sierra Leone for sale. But if he knows and he sees Sierra Leone as a valuable market, he will now approach the authorities and say, I'm going to appoint the Honorable AKK to be my vendor. So like some electrical products, you will see they will appoint people that are the principal distributors. So if anybody wants that particular product, you go to the person. I think that is what they are envisaging. Minister, am I right?
We need to know who are your targeting in terms of providing digital service, whether your presence is within or outside Sierra Leone. Who are you trying to target? That needs representation.
So you have entities like Amazon. You can have Amazon, for example. This Nigerian telecom service, TV services or the like. those kind of services. So you need to have somebody in country. It should be mandatory. It's for tax purposes.
When we move it from here to shall. Well,
if your intention is to make it mandatory, then the may should change based on your targeted people. If that's your intention, then the may should change.
But it also depends on the fact that the supplier or manufacturer knows that there is need for it and somebody is not smuggling it. So I think there are a whole lot of other dynamics in play. There are a whole lot of other dynamics in play. Because I see along Shakatimi Street, I see somebody put out a billboard that is the official distributor for Starlink. So that person may have been appointed by Starlink to operate in Sierra Leone. So Starlink knows that, yes, my product is coming to Sierra Leone. But in the event, like those of us that are using Nigeria DSTV, most of you that are using Nigeria, they are paying your English. They are not paying taxes like you. They are using it. I've been to your house. I've never been to the house of the leader, but I'll visit him. And I'll visit him when Chelsea is playing, so I will know whether or not he's using it.
We won yesterday. And today we are going to see the defeat of our colleagues. So we are ready.
Mr. Chairman, my own intention is to ask the Minister of Finance, who are the targets, who are their targets, and what is their intention in terms of appointing representatives of those targets that they envisage? Who are their targets and representatives of those targets they are targeting?
So let me shed light on Starlink, for example. Starlink is provided by Elon Musk, whose company is maybe in the US. He has tax obligations in the US. He's providing services in Sierra Leone, but he's not paying the taxes effectively for those services here. So you have to have a representative here for whom the taxes associated with those services that our people are using here, that person is able to be targeted to pay the taxes. Because they are getting away with it in the country, not for Starlink or Amazon and those things that are rendering those kind of services, even for all those things, Alibaba and the like.
But we have a medium to track.
Oh yes, so that's the essence of all of that's how we are strengthening the entire digital service taxation laws in Sierra Leone, because it's a very complex tax system which we are trying to develop slowly and robustly. So these are just part of those things that are coming in to ensure that we strengthen the capacity of NRA. Now, I'm not a lawyer. The use of specific law languages that is strengthened with shall. Exactly. Thank you.
I like the way you are feeling argued out. It has been when you introduced the digital taxation, talk about the e-market system. In the committee room one, I was really baffled how.
Minister wants to listen to leader.
Okay. You know, I'm using this service. I'm paying online. I have no piece of any agent here, to be very honest. You are paying now directly. Sometimes if I want to use my American bank card and all. But I have decided to use my local card because I really want to see how we can beat that. So, Minister, one thing I admire you are facing it with both steps. The whole business is going down because of this online payment. DSTV is going down, no matter what, and it is happening. He has done so much for this country for over 50 years. You know, most people are involved in it. in compensating because we are supporting the Nigeria market. And DSTV, if you have looked at the matrix, how they go about and give a new reduction, it's based on subscriber growth. If you have huge subscriber base, the lesser you pay. Yes, if you have huge subscriber base, the lesser you pay. If you have small subscriber base, you have difficulties. I believe you have some facilities. I've been to more treatment, I discussed with an example yesterday, there's no 2 days ago. Our subscriber base is going to Nigeria. I mean, also, we are all consumers. For me, everybody is going for the lesser side and the same satisfaction. The Nigerian subscription is far lesser than the Israeli subscription. Our agents we have here. We are getting the same satisfaction. And that is what's affecting us. So I admire you when you said it's a whole difficult situation, but you want to start something. Perhaps it can satisfy people like Anin Sabu and even the cyberspace we are using for the NMOX. There is no way you are going to ask Americans to pay the tax that you are paying in America. Because we pay our tax, if our cars are here now, so if you are using our bank, even our banks cannot even track our payment for Starlink. Yes, we are paying price automated. You pay at the end of every month. So for me, let us give you the due for us to start. But it's a whole complex situation if we don't control our cyberspace. And nobody can challenge that. I'm happy you said it. So what we need to do now, we have models now. If you don't have the law, you don't have the zest to go after what you can do. You can only call it if you now say, now say, look, go after the digital taxation. How do you do it now? You look for an expertise to get to address it. But if we don't create this space, we'll deprive so many people that have done so much for our country. Yes, we are getting satisfaction from both sides. But our conscience is really judging us. Are we doing the right thing as Iranians? Are we doing the right thing as Iranians? We have just brought down the whole business enterprise that has supported us like private colleagues, the biggest ever that of us introduced into the sub-Saharan, donated by Administration. So for me, I think it's going to give you a platform. So we start to look at how do we address it. So even you are in Nigeria, DSTV, you have something to pay here. I mean, we are invading tax. We are invading. So we cannot wreck the business of our own, talking about protecting the infant industry, and we are talking about supporting somebody who don't pay anything to us. So I think if we don't give him the platform, Mr. Chairman, then we cannot solve the problem. Thank you.
So can we retain the mail since for a start
yes.
retain mail?
You have to retain mail. Because
as it progresses, he will give us an update on whether we change mail to shall. So page 13. No, I have a problem on page 12 myself. Plus 21. The problem I have is why is it that we are buying ECI machines? The world has moved, and we should move with the world. That is what Minister is battling with now. We allow the world to move so far that we have to play catch up. People are using QR code. Why can't you find a system where we embed every tax into the QR code? Where once you scan it, me what I do now, wherever I go, there is this one QR code in supermarkets. Wherever I go, I scan it, and the name of the entity comes, I pay. So government tax is deducted at source. Because if we continue to buy ECI machine, the point is our people are colluding with the businesses not to use them. So we are spending money and it becomes redundant. Minister, I think it should be part of your innovation to think around that so that we begin to have QR codes that is embedded with everything we told in GST and all. So when once you go to the supermarket, say give me government QR code. You scan it and you pay. It comes from the distributor supermarket, you give me my amount, I pay. No, you cannot evade because at the end of the day, I know I will not give you cash anymore. Because if you go to countries, you travel. If you go to countries like Nigeria, when you go to the UK, even when you go to a barber shop, they have POS machine. You go to Nigeria, you go to Mama Put, they have a POS machine. We need to up our game. Minister, what's your thinking?
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, your suggestion is the pathway.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I think I've had discussions with the professional. I do not meet the minister, but I think that the seat with the clerk just from the vex realize that first we need to have some implementation and see why honorable Daniel should start. If you don't force them to register, we cannot get all of them. But those who know they are here, let them force them to register. So we can get rid of them so I can place amount of this. Those who cannot track it, I believe can look for the movement. How do we track those who are paying and those who are paying the United States? So that I think you made the point that those who are not registered here, I think we can force them to pay some amount for the movement. And those online, they can now go after what they can say. But if you cannot force them to register now, so they have people are registered. For example, for Nigeria DSTV, they have DSTV. And then for the Starlink, they have
Starlink, they have.
So we force them to
DSTV.
No, so that's what I say. I've done for something. They said they want us to give them force, but they are not saying they want us to give them the power to enforce those who are here, and they can use the technology to go after those who are not here. So I think we need to. They need a GST, of course. That's why the FS and others are saying. So we did not see it coming from that way, but they are not saying we can force them. Those who are here, they are trying to galvanize the base before going after those that cannot get the rid of the pay the GST. Because these are online. People are paying in Nigeria, we know. Some are paying here. But you talk about the Starlink, there are agencies, and some are paying here. For me, I'm not paying here. So it's a whole challenge.
So I think what I think we should do is we made a perfect solution earlier. We leave it to the minister. Since he has started rolling out this effort, maybe they expand on their services and they may be able to track all of these online payments for us. Because if they could track the mobile network operators, their transaction, I am sure they will be able to do that if they are mandated to. So let's leave it as it is, and let him gradually roll it out, and then we can enforce it. Because if we don't start the gradual rollout, enforcement at once will be difficult.
So what they are saying, I'm giving the local, those who are registered locally. Those who are registered locally, there are two fronts.
The agents?
Yes, they are
registered.
No, they are not even registered. So, but they know where they are. That's why the FS is saying no.
Meg, I don't come up with now say, give Mr. Cameron, give your package.
So that's what we said for giving them a platform. So it's two ways. They cannot really track those online as long as they're being automated. But those who are registered, they are not saying they have to go to force them to register. And they now come with a policy. I talked about NSOFT and all that, how to track those who are paying online, but they are not getting any payment for the services that they are rendering here. That's why I argue. So they want to have the power to force them to register. I think makes sense. If you say they, it will be conditional, they don't want to pay.
Minister, what do you think? You have two issues to respond to, my ECR and this one.
Yes, so the ECR, I think your proposal is in place. That's the path we intend to follow. But we currently have an existing system that is expanding for the ECR, and government is investing. So we want to make sure that the taxpayers take on the responsibility to have a machine, because they will spoil the machine and the government has to pay to replace it. So yeah, they own the responsibility to be replaced once it's been given to them. That's basically what we are saying. Or e-invoicing is something that NRA is working on, as you have proposed already for collecting taxes. On the issue around the appointment of rep, some of these entities from outside do pay. Like the leader is saying, he will pay in the US from here. Very complex process. But if you have a representative here, you start tracking the size of the transactions to attract taxes. So we can have May there, in my view for now, to open the space as we work to understand exactly how huge the volumes of transactions are here. No, they will. I mean, well, some people are paying from outside.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, you can't.
Mr. Chairman, can we compare the two scenarios? Can we compare the two scenarios? Let's say you maintain me just because we are not fully developed, okay, to track the targeted entities, okay? But the disadvantage of that one is that even those who are aware, who would have come within our net, will use that May to avoid our nets and keep themselves outside the nets. That is one scenario. The second scenario, you use SHARP. With SHARP, it will be applicable to those we can trap into our nets. And then with that, we increase our capacity to bring more into the net. As we are able, and as the situation becomes applicable, we are able to bring them into our net. Rather than allow those who are supposed to come into their net to use a single word to avoid us. You know, I can appoint a representative or not. And representation here is just a matter of registration for me to know that you are operating in my country. You know. And when maybe you also invest that they cannot compose yes, because in case they are caught, they will suffer penalty. So for avoid problem, they will not understand. It's cut to me. Besides, when we get this year, by the time we observe, then the other year, you know, we'll go to the next Minister of Finance. If one of the can start with the May. No, if you observe how the thing they say, it may not be banned. It not be banned. If you avoid tax for the past 5 years, you catch it now, you're not going to sue an account. But it's not bound for showing representation. Because optional. And who's a guarantee they say next Minister of Finance will pick up this one by the time.
I move that we institute grants like we have said to have SHA. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I so second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion before us. All in favor of the motion that we substitute May for shall. Say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. May become shall. I'm sorry, Mr. Minister, when it comes to court time, they put it to vote. The voters said that we should substitute May for shall. Page 13.
Page 13, Mr. Chairman. The side note for clause 25 is just spacing, amendment of second. So it's just spacing, second line.
The side note for
clause 25, amendment of second schedule. So the spacing of and second.
amendment.
Page 13, just under page 13, the second line, spacing of second. Spacing.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Yes, and then yes, as we go down a bit, description supply of water including sachet. We are missing the S.
On the same.
Yes, just go down a bit.
Supply of water excluding sachets.
Yes, we are missing the S.
Yes, it's sachets.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Page 14? Or 13?
Is
Still on 13?
yes.
at the same point where the honorable from Western Urban was saying, I just want the last words, and where the hand is going down to be removed, Mr. Minister.
See the still water and industrial,
commercial, that's no problem.
And domestic use.
And that's where I have a problem. The domestic use. People who are in that category are not doing so because they have money. They are doing so because there is the availability is a crisis. So they are not doing so because they have money to afford it, or because they cannot get it from us, the state. So when they go to buy for their domestic purposes, that should not be taxed. I agree on the commercial basis. I agree for factories. I agree for all other areas, but when it comes to domestic,
so let's say let it end at high end, right?
Yes.
At high end use. Remove domestic.
Yes, remove. The sachet of again, I need more clarification on that.
Hold on. We are making law. I know it's a qualifier, but
you are suggesting that
the high-end use everything, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, that's a technical knockout.
So we take out domestic and leave it at
yes, even the sachet. That is not fair.
Hold on. Remember, the top part is talking about including, and the bottom is excluding. So you're talking about excluding it, or do you want it to be included? So, because it's excluding.
So what happens with the sachet?
It's okay.
Sachet is including. Is supply of water including sachet water, but excluding.
Okay.
So sachet water.
No, but that's where I am. It's a mix. It's a mix. No, it is not fine. You're removing industrial. You're removing commercial. It is now confusing. Explain, please, Mr. Minister. Explain.
You want commercial?
But how will you include sachet and exclude bottle? I think it should be excluding at the top, excluding and then including. We should start with excluding sachet water and including all the other. Yes. That transpose, so we should change it.
No. Let me, Mr. Chairman, with your leave, sir. Let me make some clarifications. Well, let me make some clarifications. No, let me make the clarification. We are exempting sachet water from attracting GST. Yes, sachet water. We are exempting. But for all other industrial, commercial, high-end Bowser buyers, yes, we are saying that Guma is a good place it must attract GST so that entity can run well. This is really one basic area. Their tariffs are so low. We are not paying for water in the country. We are not paying tax on water in this country. We are not. The tax for tariff for water is so extraordinarily low that even I know some entities who are saying that they should tax me more for using water. I'll give you an example. And these are big firms here that have water. They get the Bowser water, but they're paying very low tariff on it. Now what we are saying here is to increase revenue, the GST on luxury goods. Although water is a necessity, but water for certain type of use, it's industrial and the like is used for production and the following. So we have included among that, according to what is in the law, we have included along that line in the law, that category, this is a group of category of goods that are in the law already like that. we're including that when you're lifting in the bill that you pay. EXA will put a line there that there is a tariff you should pay by the volume that is lifted. So that's the tax you pay, the GST that you pay on that volume that is lifted, the value of the volume that you lift. They will charge 15% on it. So that's what we are saying here. But for the water that is used as sachets for the people that are out there, it's not really attracting anything. So and what you are charging really is the service. You are taxing GST, you're taxing the good and the service. So that's what you're taxing, that the Boma Valley will be rendering to you. So that's the clarification I provided. And they want to just say high-end use and removing domestic.
Mr. Chairman, I agree with the minister that water is not enough. I agree with you perfectly. Mr. Chairman, I'm coming from Aistia Kobodo, Amunti. I have been in that community for almost 6 years now, and I've been buying water.
There's a challenge for water.
Exactly. And it is government responsibility to help with water.
The government has been helping you.
So I have engaged Buma. Mr. Chairman, when I moved to Pogodon, I was buying a Bowser for 600,000. Today, I am buying the same Bowser for 1.7 million. And if you are now going to add GST, it is going to be at the benefit of those people who will buy it. Because let's say, for instance, Buma sells at 500,000 used to them, and they have to add GST. I will definitely have to pay the GST. And what they will do is to sell to me what they have included and make profit on the GST also. When I went, I was buying 600 to that buy 1,600.
Not because I have money. They are over profiteering because
exactly.
When they go to the islands, they buy for around 150, 200. Because Buma sells with the intent that you are going to help them to reduce or alleviate the challenges to access water.
Exactly.
So when they buy from the island, they are buying at 150, 200.
And now let me tell you what happens, Mr. Chairman. Because they are even claiming that Buma is expensive. For people around, they go to there's a rolling stream at number 2. Where they go and get it. I have to insist that you must go and buy at Buma. They go and bring water from the rolling stream just for them not to buy. And we are paying the same money when those that are bringing water from Buma are getting water from. So if you now add GST to this one, with the perception that we are high-end users, we are not. Because we cannot afford that. My salary is the same like all of us, but I'm buying water. Because my father did not give me house at London. So I went to Pogodon. In fact, my community is called Pogodon. Mr. Minister, Pogodon.
No. You see, when he says Pogodon, you know when he says
we are fighting poverty.
No. In those days, Pogodon was a poor community. But now Pogodon is not a poor community.
Mr. Speaker, you are part of Pogodon.
Mr. Speaker. We are there together.
And you are even helping us in the road.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, so please, for some of us, we know the pains we are taking to buy this. We know. So please let us go. We are not high-end users. We are not. We are just buying it. And for a lot of people around that area, they are using these water that are running through the stream. It's not even good for their health. The entire community is using it. That's one part.
I think whether there is GST or not, the people, if you check what they buy at the islands and what they are selling to you, taking into consideration the operation and cost, you will see that they are over profiteering. So whether there is GST or not, they will still add price at any time.
No, Mr. Chairman,
where I come into this is the fact that if you go to Western area, most of the communities in Western area survive getting water through the tanks that have been erected by Guma. And those tanks are being run by people in those communities who buy it from Guma. So this, with this law you're putting now, when the people go to buy from Guma and there is GST, that GST will be sent again to the ordinary people in those communities, which will make water more expensive for use. What is the intention of the minister that is difficult to be captured here is the fact that he is thinking of people who are highly placed and who buy water. But when you go to buy to Guma, Guma cannot categorize who is Bashiru Siriki, a deputy leader, for who is Abu that buys for a community in Wellington. So we are saying as long as it is for community use, we can tax those other areas for commercial use. We can do that for the sachet and the bottle. But all other areas that have to do direct domestic use, Mr. Minister, any attempt to increase this, you're also increasing the rate of people drinking water that is not pure. The only hope they have in Grassfield is to buy a bounce of water from Guma, put into the tank, and people come to buy. So if you put in this category for domestic use, Guma will just generalize everything and our people will suffer. That's my position.
So what's your proposal, leader, deputy leader?
My proposal is to get this domestic high-end and domestic out of it.
Well, let us define who are high-end.
High-end manufacturing. You see, what I don't like is this. Honorable members, please take your seats. Since we started this meeting this morning, the posture has been to support government and to be reasonable to ensure that government gets its due and our people are better served. Now we are at a point where members of parliament are becoming emotional. And you don't make law with emotions. The point is, if you that is sanctioning taxes are afraid of paying taxes, then there is problem. If you, the custodian that has the power in section 110 of the Constitution to impose tax or to relieve tax, you are afraid of paying taxes.
No.
So let's leave it as it is. The problem is solved. Page 14.
Mr. Chairman, please.
Mr. Chairman,
we are already paying tax. We are paying tax. What the minister is now proposing
is to add GST.
We are already paying. We are buying. So what are they doing with the money you are buying?
They are not paying. That is why now they want to add.
What you should do?
People that are supplying are not paying.
They are buying from Guma.
They are buying from Guma.
And this same law.
At cost recovery.
No, don't say that. This same proposal that the minister is proposing now, the people who will be buying from Guma will be paying directly to Guma, and Guma in turn pays to the ministry.
But they were not paying GST.
Guma was not paying. Why?
No, they were not paying GST.
No. I can't see that.
There is no tax on water.
So why do we buy?
There is water tariff, which is different. Yeah, the tariff is different.
No, we are not paying tax.
Yeah, so there is no tax. There is no tax on water. It's really not. There is only a tariff. Yeah, it's a tariff that runs. You're paying for the services. Yeah, exactly. So that's what it's just like electricity. We introduce tax on energy, and then we have tariff for energy. So the tariff and the tax are two different things altogether. So we are introducing here. We are saving the sachet, which is heavily used by low-income earners. That's what we are doing. We are protecting that, but we are saying all other commercial, industrial, high-end users, we are introducing tariff for them. That's basically what we are proposing here.
So
it's a bold new tax for water is not properly delivered in the country. And the natural thing in Sierra Leone, we have not been used to paying tax on water. It is really just not there. And therefore that service, it is very difficult for us to invest in that sector, for example. Right? So this is a very, very bold tax measure that we are taking. And it's been done with a lens to raise revenue, but also to be able to make that sector robust enough. So this is something that I just want to get the House to come align on it, as just like we do for energy. It's the same thing we're trying to introduce for this infrastructure. This particular service, which is water service. Producing it, maintaining it, making sure that it's there. We're investing a lot in piping the systems and rehabilitating the water works, even in Freetown here and across the country. But we have to ensure that that particular sector is properly priced and properly taxed to be able to sustain those investments going forward. That's the boldness that we are bringing into this space.
Mr. Chairman, I think normally when we close, we always make provision for definition of key terminology. What is ambiguous here is the IN user. And I think, like the minister mentioned, even in the energy sector, you have categories. You have the social ban. There's a ban that covers the forest of the poor. So I think it is for fitting that we create a category as to distinguish who are high-end users. How many liters per month, or based on the usage of water, that's the basis of determination for high-end or low-end. I think we have to create a layer as to what constitutes high-end. But what I want to plead with the minister is the fact that the reality is most people now, they don't only depend on certain water. Even bottled water is now a source of water for the poor. So I think for start, much as it's targeted.
Honorable leader,
we can
do you actually mean what you said?
No, that's the truth.
What was that 5 news?
I know, but the reality is when your constituent
Sergeant was at 20.
When your constituent organization function, they don't supply
it's 10 news.
They use bottled water.
Leader, hold on, and you have not tried it before.
But that's what.
When we are not opportune to buy bottled water,
yes,
at public college,
yes,
you buy B-man collection. Those who know, they know. You will find one bottle. When you cut one sachet, you fill it one bottle, and you will have salt to sustain yourself. So you use it as substitute. So if you have 20 at 10 news, there is no way I'll buy 1 at 5 news.
Yes, my submission is GST is different from other forms of service. This one is going to be borne directly by the service user. So if 15% of it is going to mean that 15% of the existing price is going to be added to what is already the price. So I'm saying for start, we can exempt the sachet water and bottled water, whilst we consider the other categories, take into consideration of the distinction as to what constitutes the high-end user.
No, but this man, hold on. This man receives $15 million from IFC, supported by government guarantor, government bank.
But he's not going to pay the GST.
No, hold on. To finance in this industry. And this industry is giving him huge money. And he benefits from a single-digit loan. So I see no reason why this man should not pay 15% to government for the water that he collects or is supplied to him to sell to us as
No, Mr. There are two categories here. When you talk about bottled water is not supplied by Guma. Bottled water is the bottled water that you have in front of you.
Yes.
So if it is going to attract 15% tax, it means there is directly going to be a 15% increase in the existing price. it's not going to be paid by the producer of this bottled water. It's going to be paid by the service user and us.
No, it will not increase. Let me tell you something that you haven't paid attention to.
If it's on the corporation tax of that company, I can understand.
No, the fact is, it's not only this company. There are other indigenous companies that we are involved in sachet water that also are coming together now to move to bottled water. So if you increase, they will produce and they will sell.
Honorable Chairman, go ahead.
It's settled now. Let's move on. Page 415.
Mr. Chairman, I suggest at the end of the day, let us have regulations. For instance, if you go to and it is clear in a container, it is clear that if you are moving to the far end or to this end, there are prices. So even when you have GST imposed, so we cannot be left in the hands of these drivers, these bouncers. Let us have regulations, for instance, for us living in the far west. The hydrant is at Ferry Turner. We will say regulations will come out. What we buy inclusive of the GST. If you are staying at number 2, considering the transportation and the profit, this is what it should be. It should be. So when we are buying, and I am buying from a private person, and there is a regulation, I will know the cost of a bouncer of 14,000 feet is this one. If I'm buying, I'm staying at Hamilton, this is what I will pay. If I go down to Otake and I'm clearing 40 feet container, I am going to Hamilton. It is stated in the price list that this is what you should pay. And this
do they have a price list?
Yes.
But there is competition also there.
No, there's a price list. You can.
There's a price list,
yes.
You can negotiate.
Exactly, there's a price list.
So it's the same.
What I would advise the minister, they should bring us regulations, or the Buga Valley or Salwako should bring us the regulations.
So leader of government business. In addition to our business proposal for solar, let's include water bowser. Well, it's moving our proposal. No one will serve you at a competitive rate. Myself and leader of government business, we are going to farm up our proposal. We're going to invest in solar and now water bowser. To continue to speak, we expand our business proposal. Page 14.
Still on 13, Mr. Chairman. A quick one, yes. So, from my copy here, the spelling for sachets.
Yeah, it's correct. You are outside.
Okay.
You were outside.
Page 15. Minister, I have a problem on page 15.
Okay, I wanted to raise a point.
Clause 28. I believe very so that the provision that was enacted in 2019, in section 19, for this particular provision is sufficient. Transshipment. That was a solid enactment in 2019. Have you seen it? It's long, it's detailed. I think what we have not done on that provision is the fact that when we enacted that law, it made provision to install tracking devices on containers on the vehicle. And that is what they do in Guinea. Because most of the movements of heavy duty vehicles and whatever comes through Guinea. So what they do at the ports in Bokeh, when once it is the bill of lading shows that it is transshipment and it's loaded on the vehicle, they will track the vehicle until it crosses any of their borders. If it stops at any point, they will call. You don't stop Namamu. So nobody, transshipment containers are transshipment containers. Nobody cheats them. And the provision in section 19 is sufficient, is strong. I don't know why you want to repeal that and replace it with. It's more or less a replacement because it also speaks to transshipment. If you look at section 19, it's more or less a replacement because it speaks of transshipment. I know transshipment is a problem. You know, when I read this session today, I see it as the presiding officer and also the chairman of the Public Account Committee. So I see and I know a lot of things. So I know transshipment is a major problem, but we have not enforced the provision in section 19 in the 2019 Finance Act. If we enforce that, nobody is going to jump over us. I don't know whether I want to keep it or I want to add it.
Well, We are maintaining what is there. We are just replacing the customs commissioner to commissioner general. That's what we are doing there, but it's almost the same for what is in the previous act, the one in 2011 or 2018, I think. Yeah.
So
that's the only change.
Mr. Chairman,
from commissioner to commissioner general. That's what it is.
And that same 28, if at all we're going with it, the second line we have two following. So to delete one.
Otherwise, we are deleting the following. I think we should stick a pin on it. And we'll come later. I agree with Minister. Do we, honorable members, do you want us to proceed? We should not stick the pin. Minister,
in a speedy fashion.
Where is your council today? That's outside goes with the capability. Page 16.
Page 16.
Everything is left with us.
Yeah, page 16, Mr. Chairman.
It is like Boomerang.
No, I'm still laughing about the scenario of where the hunter becomes the hunted. Clause 30, under the different categories. 2, category B, vehicles. The second line, where it has equivalent for vessel, all of that to 15 seaters should come under the $1,000 on Leon's, because it's a continuation. It should be $1,000 on Leon's equivalent. So just category B vehicles should stay, and then the rest from equivalent to 15 seaters transferred to the right hand column of.
So category B vehicle equivalent for vessels and boats greater than 15 seater.
So it should be category B vehicles, just it. Then the next under the category of levy imposed should be US $1,000 or Leon's equivalent. So that equivalent and the rest of it.
Okay, so it is category B of vehicles from
category B vehicles, that's it. Then the rest to be transferred to the next column for it to read US $1,000 or Leon's equivalent for vessels and boats greater than. So that aspect from the second line to the last line to be transferred to the next column.
I'm confused.
Okay, let me help you. Again, you've been haunted. Category B vehicles.
Approach Mr. Chairman.
Go to Mr. Chairman. It's easy. And the way you explain it, you make it complex. You get that set for you still get an answer to no.
I will not show life.
The man said complex.
On life.
Naturally,
now I understand. I understand it now. Page 17?
No, page 16.
Oh, we are still on 16.
16 plus 6(2). Plus 6(2), Mr. Minister. Do you intend a conviction?
16?
6(2) plus. No. Page 16 plus 29. Sorry.
6(1).
6(2).
Okay, 6(2).
6(2). Upon imposing that penalty of $50,000, do you intend imposing that penalty upon conviction, or you have a way of doing it outside court? Okay, if you intention is after conviction, then it should be stated. We'll provide another rendition. But let me just know if you have your own way.
But I have
fine, or if it does after conviction.
I have a slight objection before the minister responds. My objection is most times shipping agents do withhold manifest and bill of lading pending full payment by the consignee. That is something we did not take into consideration. There are times the consignee may not have paid in full, but because of their business relationship, the agent would ship the goods on the understanding that by the time the ship gets to the port of discharge, you would have been resourced sufficiently to pay me. Then I hold the manifest as my collateral. So once you pay me, once you fund my account, I will now release the manifest. So if you are saying they should release 7 days before the arrival of the ship. So if the consignee owes the agent, how do you settle for that?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, on the broker.
I have told you, you are not approaching him as a leader. You are approaching him with the principles of seniorist priorities. Okay.
I will arrange your eyes.
Yes,
I will arrange your eyes. Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, that's a different point. That's a different point or different concern that you have raised. You know, it's different from mine. I'm not saying yours is not legitimate, but maybe let us treat it separately. Maybe we treat yours under arrest of opposition. I will take the back seat on that. Even though I raise mine first, but we can treat your own concern first. Then after that, we come to my own concern. My own concern is how do they intend to get this $50,000 penalty? If they intend getting that after conviction, then they need another rendition from us. But let us treat that of your own concern first. His own concern first.
Minister. Yes, so let me explain the intent. This is an administrative fine. It's a deterrent for us to get the manifest in the timeline that we require. Okay, so it's basically a deterrent. It's not necessarily an intent for them to default. We are trying to get them to avoid defaulting by providing the manifest.
No, it's different. In fact, that's the whole essence of penalties being made provisions against default. But usually when we do laws here, you know, we avoid, you will not be minister for life. You know, there will be another minister who may have the tendency to misuse this power. That's why whatever fine provisions we make, we usually do it upon conviction. Because this is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So you cannot. What about if you allow this law now, and then in the next 3-4 years you are no longer Minister of Finance, another person comes and then uses impunity out of bad faith, and I'll just go and meet you and say you have defaulted $50,000. So that's what we need to clarify. But let us address the concerns raised by the chairman first. And I think we have a good explanation to that. Address the concern of the chairman first.
I agree. I think the challenge in addressing my concern also goes back to my reference to Section 19 of the Finance Act of 2019, which stated the mandatory list of documentation to be submitted by the exporter or the importer before the vessel arrives. So all of these documents are documents that constitute the information in the manifest. So if they are submitted before the arrival of the vehicle, or before the arrival of the vessel, it means this clause may not be needed. Because the point is, if the consignee has pledged, like I said, to pay the agents for the goods that have been imported by him, and the payment has not been made in full, whether there is a penalty in Sierra Leone because you know the manifest. So it's on the understanding, even containers, Honorable Kenny is my employees here, even containers, if you pay and you do not meet the full payment, you will not be issued with the bill of lading, the original. You will have copy, and the copy cannot be processed through the system. So, Minister, I don't know whether we go back and push with enforcement for my people as customs, instead of punishing agents who, in good faith, may have shipped for consignees in Sierra Leone, who owes them, and they would want to rely on this provision to say, if you don't release the manifest to me, they are going to be fined $50,000.
Yes, additionally, so Mr. Speaker, is that we just have few reliable shipping agencies in Sierra Leone. Very few. So with this fine, I think it will limit those that are intending to join our those shipping agencies that are here. But another catch there, Mr. Speaker, is that for Mr. Chairman, for every container, if the owner fails to pay a certain amount that he's supposed to pay to the agency, they will not release that container. And hence that container is not released to the owner, you will not get the manifest. So imposing the release of that manifest to them under that fine, I think it will prevent so many intending investors to come to the country, because $50,000 is not something these shipping agencies are willing to let go. For instance, Bolori, 1,200 euros will let your container sleep down there for days, for just 1,200 euros, let alone talking about $50,000. I think so if you do not understand what is the argument, I just want you to understand, because some of us are into the business. They are saying shipping lines should submit. Yes, we are. I am. In fact, it's not in my work. Business is part of us. Shipping lines should submit manifest of shipping consignment, not individuals we are talking about here. We are talking about these shipping agencies. It is a company, I know. So if you say they have to submit a manifest 7 days before arrival to Sierra Leone, failing to do so, of which majority of these shipments, those customers are debtors to those shipping lines, failing to submit that to the Commissioner General attract 50,000 fines.
Mr. Chairman, can I be heard, please? Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Member, your point is serious and it's well noted, because I see it as a joint and combined.
Yes, my point here is I think this clause, like I said, is a very fine clause. The reality is, whether it's an allegation or whatsoever, but what prevails is there is serious undervaluation of a whole lot of consignment and company. So with this clause, Mr. Speaker, when once we enact it will, because for the shippers, for the shipping agent, they give the real picture of the person that hold that. So it's difficult for those particular people to be altered. If you get them 7 days before arrival. But yes, mostly they are being doctor when they are here.
No, that is
well, let me just complete. Yeah, let me just complete. On the fine, sir, the issue I have is because it depends on the value of the consignment. Just assume the value of the consignment is just around maybe $10,000 or $15,000. So if you find someone $50,000, the person will prefer to leave the consignment with you. And besides, the objective of government is for them to induce compliance. Simple. So let's have it at least, instead of having it 50,000, I say at least or not more than $50,000. So it is now at the behest of the Commissioner General to determine what will be the penalty. Whether it is 1,000 or 2,000, instead of saying 50,000, 52,000.
You see, we are dealing with the chairman. Hold on. You see, we are looking at the issue in isolation. We are looking at the shipping agent and the shipping agent is you should look at the shipping agent as a nominee of a person that is supplying in Germany, for example. And that person deals in whatever commodities with Honorable Eon Auna Kuma. Honorable Eon Auna Kuma, because of his business dealing with the person in Germany, can be given goods at half the price at the point of shipment, but he will only receive the goods when he pays the full outstanding. So if the supplier knows that there is a law in Sierra Leone, what happens is your consignment will not be released until you make full payments. Because he knows, yes, he knows that if the ship leaves the port of discharge, coming to the port of loading, coming to the port of discharge, and 7 days before it gets to the point of discharge, whether Honorable Aaron had submitted or made his full payment or not, is mandated to release the document. And when he releases the document, he's at the loss. It's at the behest of you now to pay him or not.
No, Mr. Chairman, we are missing something. We are missing something. Let me explain this. If I am shipping to Sierra Leone and I am dealing with a particular Chinese company, yes, they are shipping my goods in here. As you've explained, it is our personal relationship to sell my goods before I have paid. That is personal. That has nothing to do with the income of government. Government is not concerned about our personal relationship. If they decide to send my goods,
Honorable Joseph Abdul Bash Kamala and your counterpart. Your counterpart is an allergy. I don't want to call his name.
Yes, sir. Let me finish with this. Let me finish with this. That is a personal relationship that should not affect us as a nation for our government interest. What is government interest? Let's take it there for you. When they send this manifest, this one is from the shipping company to NIA. I have no hands in it. What will be your interest is for NIA not to give it to me if you want, if that's your problem. But as far as we are concerned, if I ship in 2,000 cartoons, if the company is sending it to NIA, I have no way to influence the number. But if it comes to me first, before I submit to NIA, I'll just submit 700. And that's what business people do. So what we are doing, we are trying to save the nation. Full disclosure, full payment before the goods. Before it comes in contact with Tawa, who is the person in charge?
Okay, so now,
Mr. Chairman, let me finish.
Hold on. I get your point now because of giving to me by the FS.
No, let me finish. For the penalty, I agree 50,000 is too much. We can say 25% of the total cost of the goods.
Of the not modern.
25%. No, 25% is good. So the person will not also abandon the goods. Because if it costs me 27,000, and I pay 50,000, I'll go below it.
Okay, so now I am comforted by the fact that there is going to be an additional clause to 6.1 that the shipping line should now submit the manifest to the Commissioner General. So there is somebody that is liable if that manifest gets to the consignee. So I think that comfort is good. There is somebody at the top that is liable if he releases that manifest to the consignee. So yes, say a shipping agent shall submit the electronic manifest 7 days before the arrival of the vessel to the Commissioner General NIA. And to the fine, I think 25% of the value of the goods is also good. I think that is right. 25% of the value of the goods. No, he's not with it. So you see, when people see us walking in the street, they say these are members of parliament, they are paying them for nothing. You see what we are doing here. We are doing a good job. Page 17.
Page 17, Mr. Chairman. First of all, under category C, motorbikes, we remove the inverted commas.
Category C,
motorbikes, we remove the inverted commas.
Everywhere is cool, they will tell you bracket open. Bracket close. You want to close the bracket?
Now, under the mortgage, 27(1). It should read, subject to this section, there shall be a fixed set number of demurrage-free days for importers and exporters. So
there shall be
a fixed. So we delete the 3 days in the second line.
Okay, so 3 days will be a fixed.
Subject to this section, there shall be a fixed set number of demurrage-free days for importers and exporters, because we have export and they should be exporters.
Okay.
So
there shall be a fixed set of
a fixed set number of demurrage free days for importers and exporters.
Yeah, 27-2.
No, that except
27-2. Yes, there should be after this. You should consider excluding Sundays and public holidays, because Saturday is a calendar day now.
Exactly. That was my issue as well. The use of the word calendar.
No, calendar days now and NRA is Mondays to Saturdays.
Okay.
So
but if it is set like this,
yes,
it can be. It has a tendency to be understood by
yes.
so many taxpayers.
So now it's excluding Sundays and public holidays.
So let's have the new rendition.
Yes, Saturday is a calendar day at NRA. They are working custom to work on Saturday. So it reads the same. It becomes the demurrage-free days referred to under subsection 1 shall be 10 calendar days, excluding for both importers and exporters, excluding Sundays and public holidays. Minister, are you going to do it?
So the excluding comes after exporters.
Yes. Page 18.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
The first line on page 18, is it marking in regulations? Yes. Is amending and inserting together. Minister, 31 yes, plus 27-2. At the end of the sentence, after exporter, we have including Sundays and public holidays. Because Saturday is now an official calendar day. And the custom, so. Is that okay? Doing the non-demurrage free days shipping, non-demurrage free days, comma, shipping line shall apply demurrage and storage charge per container and calendar days.
Mr. Chairman, I advise the Ministry of Finance and the NRA. The fact that we are passing this law now, and the law should come into effect on the 1st of January 2020, they should start their implementation now. So, and they should encourage the shipping lines to work on their system. We should not wait until the 1st of January and the shipping lines will tell you they have to spend 3, 4, 5 months to work on their system to have it right. Please, the shipping lines should know that Sunday is not a working day. And they should now begin to work on their system. Since this law is passing, since we are passing this law today or tomorrow, they should begin working on their system. On the 1st, we will not encourage any shipping line to come with excuses. We will not. Because I have sat at a meeting where they will tell you, oh, they have to work on their system from their parents' office, and they will have to spend 4 or 5 months. Please, Mr. Minister, please, NRA, make sure you communicate to them once this law becomes a law, and they should start on the 1st of January 2026. Thank you very much.
I think if I want to put the comments on the deputy leader, I would say, let us, at the end of this day today, encourage the Office of the Clerk of Parliament to expedite the process to complete this bill. We take all the considerations into all the amendments into consideration. We go through it and we present it to the President for his signature. Well, once it is signed, the ministry is under obligation to gazette it again. So, well, once it is public, it becomes an issue of ignorantia due non excusat. Yes, ignorant or less no excuse, they should know. Because a law does not come to us without consultation. So I believe part of the people that were consulted are the Shipites. So when once the law is signed in time and is in public, they should follow up in the environment that they operate.
They know.
So you don't need to go and take telephone again and tell them, hey, na 7 years old, hey, na 2 months old. They should know it's not public.
Popularization is part of
Popularization, you give it to MPs. You want to popularize the bill? You want to take parliament to the people?
Mr. Chairman.
So page 18.
Page 18, Mr. Chairman.
Comment, just. Mr. Speaker, I just want to bring to the attention.
We are going to end at 6:30.
Yes, I just want to bring to the attention of this House, since the Minister of Finance is here, to know that Bolori starts charging our citizens for demurrage the day that your container arrives. If it arrives at 5 p.m., they start counting that day, and they count on Sundays. And 1,000 leons can lead a container to spend days down there, and they are happy to let your container spend there as much as you can, because as much as they want you to stay, you pay any amount they ask you to pay. That is one. The second thing, when